Yes, I'll be here.
So much more comment about that, actually.
Whoa,
Charles going crazy. Yeah.
Thanks, Scott. Yeah, and that's it.
What are you starting comments starting the work about? We're not doing a lot of comments. It's just during time to talk on the agenda. More with the time.
Yes.
So leave it with 3 minutes. Love it. Deny. Homework. Well. That's my question. Good to go. Good to go. Okay, all right, hey, everybody. It is 6 o'clock. We'll kick this off. This is the Celebration Resident Owners Association Board Workshop. Today is Wednesday, January 14th, 2026. And we will call the meeting to order at 6 o'clock on the notice. Was the meeting properly noticed?
It was.
Right, is there a motion to adopt the agenda?
Second.
Give it to Marco.
There's a modification. That's not it.
What's the modification?
Future consent item.
C. Is it C?
E.
Oh, E.
C.
C.
Chiller.
C.
Which C to current action.
Okay. Anything else? Any additions? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We form, right?
Yes.
Thank you. Sorry. Okay, so we are on action item A, motion to approve. Motion to approve D'Angelo Diamond PCO number 007 Town Hall Chiller Disconnect Replacement in the amount of $5,967.96.
So moved. Second.
Which Jared and Eric. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? All right. Motion to approve replacement of 4 Victorian benches at Town Hall Courtyard by Dumore via rep services in the amount of $11,311.60 from CROA Reserve Fund. Is there a motion?
Second.
Discussion?
Did we get multiple bids for this?
Yes, there are 2 Dunmore bids and 1 Belson bid. The bid that you're motioning to approve is for red oak benches. The Dunmore is the original benches ordered by TCC. There's a secondary bid for Hollywood lumber, and then a third bid from Belson Outdoors, which are the same version that we recently purchased for Long Meadow that we're not recommending repurchase.
In rep services the same, though you just got 2 different quotes.
Correct.
And so,
Well, the Belson.
Belson is a separate.
Belson is a different.
right, but Dumore is one vendor, Belson is the second vendor. That first one's just providing 2 separate.
And rep services provider too, right? And then Belson's the other one.
That was actually why I was at the question account, because I thought it was all rep services, but it looks like it's not. So, I'm good.
We're installing these, we're putting them together with. Okay. Anything else? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Okay, motion to deny the D'Angelo Diamond PCO number 009 Town Hall Cornerstone Cabinet refinishing as.
Motion.
Eric,
Second.
Katie, discussion?
What's the dollar value of that, just so it's on the record, roughly?
$7,141.66 to refinish 6 cabinets.
Actually,
And to be clear, we're still planning on doing this.
Yes.
Yes,
In-house.
In-house.
so the management recommendation is to refinish these cabinets in-house following the completion of town hall construction.
Okay. Yes,
Stick to me.
good. All right. All in favor to the amendment motion?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? All right. Motion to approve reclassification of maintenance items to a reserve expense by direct supply in the amount of $5,488.20.
motion.
Here,
Second.
Bill, discussion. This is just a reclassification.
Yes.
Anything else? All in favor? Opposed? Abstentions? All right. And last, motion to approve sod installation at Lakeside by Exquisite Lawn Care in the amount of $4,893.75 from CROA Reserve.
Motion.
Martha, period, discussion.
This already in the works.
Yes.
Yes.
This is for the splash. Yes.
Yeah, it's that grass area.
It's the grass area between the pool and tennis court number 5.
So,
It's where they entered.
yeah, I did.
Install the splash pad, because that's where we're gonna do one of the events for this weekend for the Cubs and Lions.
Substance cycle.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions, all right. Future consent items for discussion. The first one, motion to approve celebration sanitation services contract renewal.
Ken, this was on your agenda a couple months ago. There was an agreement not to go out to RFP. Ken is here in case you have any questions about the updated contract. It's pretty much the same except for the rates. And any other questions you have for Ken?
Legals review.
Yeah.
Questions? Good to go?
Yeah.
All right.
It's okay.
All right, motion to approve town hall furniture by CDS. This is the 203.
We have no more questions for Ken, right?
Yeah, we're good. Ken, you're good to go.
Ken.
You're good to go. Yeah, you can go. Okay, so the furniture one.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
So this is the furniture that is currently part of the overall bid package, correct? Or no?
This is separate.
Is it separate?
This is separate from the GMP.
It is separate from the GMP.
Yeah, and it was called out as such in the 3.17 presentation to the community.
This is the same thing?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
that's fine.
This is reserved where town hall is gonna be capital.
Okay, that makes sense.
And we have several representatives.
Yes, you do have Kira Chesser, the designer, responsible for this on the call.
Do we want to let her kind of run through any thoughts, comments, overview, or what do you all, what would however you want
I don't, I mean,
to, let it's,
you're good with what this furniture is and it meets the needs of the,
Yes, and she went out to multiple vendors, narrowed it down, provided, various options and
there was a chair concern, has that been resolved?
yes.
Yes.
Everybody's happy with the chairs they're gonna be working in?
Yes.
How about the meeting room chairs, the boardroom chairs? Are those gonna be?
They will be more, yes.
What's
they will
wrong
be
with
comfortable.
That's
So the actual current plan for the boardroom chair, well, the chairs for the rooms are design, are a newer version of these, similar to the ones actually at Artisan Park.
Okay,
The chairs for the board are currently scoped to be the ones in the small conference room and to utilize those during the board meetings for the board, seated board at the time.
And then we were still waiting on the warranty question to be answered.
Yes, very.
Yes, so that I actually just sent over a little bit ago. I compiled everything. The warranty information varies by manufacturer. So all of that has been compressed. And so if there's one particular vendor that we are leaning towards, it'll be in that compressed file.
Is everything at least a year?
I'm sorry, repeat the question?
Is everything at least a year?
No. It's it varies. Most of them are longer than a year, but yes, sorry. The minimum is a year. There's only one vendor, Superior Seating, which is the like the boardroom seating that has I can't remember the verbiage that they use, but it's like a limited lifetime. So that one we might want to discuss further, but yes, everything has at least a year or greater, depending on the manufacturer.
how does this impact, is this a real reset? What is the impact on the reserves going forward? Is this something where we're gonna not have to replace these or?
It was scheduled for 2025, so
Right.
you're kind of right in line with your current funding plan.
What's the actual, is this like a 5-year, 10, like when do we typically? Like, we should be set on this.
Yeah, you should be set for a while.
Alright.
It's been a long time since you replaced furniture at town hall.
Because we got a bunch of other stuff coming up.
Yeah.
It's 10.
Yeah.
Wow.
those chairs for.
Yeah, okay.
Cheers were,
Let's see here what it is.
No, yeah, wow.
they were aged.
Yes.
Okay.
I just forwarded for the warranty information.
Okay, so we will, and this is already covered under our 317U. We don't have to do any presentation
Correct.
and we're voting on this.
On the 20th.
Okay. Anything else? Marco, Bill? Good? Okay. Sorry.
Okay.
Good.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Thank you, Karen.
Thank you.
You're good to go. Thank you. Kira?
Oh, I'm good.
Yeah, you're good.
You're
Yep,
good.
thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you.
Perfect.
Have a good night.
Thank you guys. Have a good night.
Yep. Dumping our vendors quickly. All right, so we had. All right, so we already voted the chiller disconnect. So the next one, motion to approve D'Angelo's Diamond back support and flooring modification, amount of $0.
This one's a formality, it's a change out of flooring, there's no cost being made, but as it is a change order, it's signed by the board.
Sense?
Okay, anything else? Good. Motion to approve D'Angelo's Diamond millwork provision to resident services desk and changes to restroom countertops in the amount of $2,026.34. Anything?
So the main purpose for this, images of it, most of the cost of this is just for the addition of the quartz stone. It's changing the resident service main counter from covering 3/4 of the banquette to the full amount, so it's an extension of about 1.5 feet. Areas. So it's changing this to go all the way across. It keeps this accent line here. It's just extending it all the way over.
But it's still low on the other side.
For ADA needs, yes,
Yeah.
this whole counter is available over here.
Okay.
This section right here would be where the standing actually is a monitor. So it would be the back of the monitor and the cords that would be visible.
So if you scroll down a little bit more, you can see side view.
Right, so this is the change order to change it, so it extends all the way across.
To the wall?
No, just to the extent of this. jet out.
Yeah, but to Eric's point, are we? Wheelchair access to that counter seems limited with that. change.
To the left
There's
side.
about 7 feet of standard height
Oh,
to the
on
left.
that side. Okay. Okay, great.
And the door is still there to get back
On the other
on
wall.
the other wall. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Right. Good. Anything else? One let's go twice. So, all right. Motion to approve D'Angelo's Diamond Town Hall sidewalk and courtyard concrete replacement, $33,519.82. What's this one about?
This was the discussion that we had in December with the board about the courtyard. The courtyard
Okay.
concrete was needing replaced. The section in red is what is scoped for replacement. We actually did compare this to work with our current vendors, and it's right on the square foot.
So we're doing concrete. I know at one point in time, we had explored the idea of doing bricks.
This is all for like-to-like concrete replacement. This is actually part of, or is up in reserves for sidewalk replacement this year and is within our reserve allotment.
That's the area with the bike rack and some of them. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Where the trees used to be, right?
Yes, there were still oak trees.
I don't know what the barn was, but you know, yeah, I know, but the courtyard.
Yeah,
And
the
so,
back entrance to town hall.
so I assume this includes not only replacement of the concrete, but they're gonna regrade it. That's the one thing that's not in the quote, because it's all shitty pants right now.
Part of the demo would be. Yes.
Yeah, right.
In other words, the concrete, they'll do like what I see what they're doing outside here, where they're actually any roots that push things up, they're removing that and stuff like that. So it's not just that they're gonna pour on top of all that.
That's correct.
That's it. That's-
Okay.
Yeah. And
So what you're saying is you want to see that in the bid before we vote to approve it, that all that will be taken.
more
care of as
language
well?
on what they're
So
doing.
they're explicitly,
Yeah, I guess my thing is that I just want them to know that it's similar to like when we did, there was a line or a paragraph or something in the agreement for the ones out here at Spring Park for the sidewalks that included any root removal, ground grinding, all that jazz. I want to make sure that they know that they're on the hook for that too.
Can we have that added before we vote?
yes,
Okay.
Okay.
we're all good with that.
Yeah.
Okay, agreed.
Gary has a, let's hear that.
Sir,
Will the bike racks be replaced and are there benches being contemplated?
The
Uh,
benches
benches we
that
just-
were
benches were
approved
just
in
benches
action
we just
item A.
approved.
Okay,
And the bike rack will be pulled and then reinstalled because it's relatively new.
So that in the language as well.
Yes.
What about Gary, the planters themselves? Because they're sitting on top of concrete, right? Or are they sitting on dirt?
They're sitting in in dirt.
They are sitting in dirt. Okay, all right.
All right, so we'll get that changed up to be more explicit about the grading and.
And bike rack.
Okay. No mulch.
Got it, that?
Or anything else? Good, okay. All right, the motion to approve the change order to Sandreas's pool maintenance contract, substituting the lakeside wading pool for the lakeside splash pad in the scope of work. This is, we're just changing.
Yeah, and this is a zero cost change order.
Ben, please. Okay. CCFC pay for play is recommended by the Parks and Rec Committee. I've heard a little bit about this, but who wants to give us the overview of what this is about?
So during the Recreation Committee meeting on December 8th, the committee discussed whether or not the CCS field should be available on a first come first served basis or as a reservation. Management informed the committee that we are receiving requests from residents that are considered recurring reservations on a weekly basis due to the cost of the field, and Recreation Committee. Due to the cost of the field, the Recreation Committee recommends that the CCFC fields are pay-to-play fields moving forward, and that we should invest with installing one soccer goal on the East Village open field to offer an option for soccer play at another location during the mornings at the CCFC is when maintenance work takes place on the fields. The only field we have been recommending residents to utilize has been the synthetic turf to avoid any field damage.
I have one question on that. Are there still soccer goals here at Heritage, or
No.
where do we still own those goals? No.
The goals that was here was updated and gets rusty and destroyed all the time. The idea to the soccer club again involve the management company and help to make the goals for like professional goals on the ground, so we don't have problem with the hurricanes or the kids hanging and fell down over the kids. Very safe, very nice that they have in other communities, so people can have fun, play soccer, it's more soccer better for sure. And also we respect the space for the lacrosse and flag football, to have all three sport in the same place.
Was there a reason East Village over Heritage?
Yeah, it's village and drink park, one should be one each one
Oh,
is the drink, but
okay.
depending on the inside here.
It's starting with one due to the cost of the goals themselves. We
About
wanna get the
how much
commercial
are
rate.
they?
We have to double check on that.
Yeah, the goals starting $800, the cheaper one, I'm going to do the professional like 2,000 or something like that.
Okay.
So we don't have problem with the kind of rusty or whatever, we like looks professional, one goal, not both goal, but one goal.
Okay.
So we can have more fun, I can,
Okay.
and when you go there and pay or open the facility to play with my son, just go to a spring park, they have the restrooms here, and everything.
2,000 to 3,000 more, and so.
So the only,
Okay.
the only concern that I have about this is we already have criticism from the community that we have this big field complex that just remains locked all the time.
It's not luckily, Eric is using every day. And right now we have flag football and soccer at the ground. Right now, this time we have like 3 fields, 2 fields for soccer. 2 fields are closed, due to the city. Sure. So one field is pretty full for kids or the city soccer, but after the residents play for free, like from 8 to 10.
So I think maybe we just need to reinforce that, to say that they're
Like
being
an
utilized.
education,
Yeah,
an education piece.
and I mean, being a parent that frequents this playground, this field doesn't see as much use in the evening.
And it used to, I feel like, when we had the
There
goal.
used to be the rusty goal.
We don't have, when we don't have the, when we didn't have the space, the CFC we play, you should play here
Mhm.
a lot. Yeah, I decided to do.
I
But actually we need restrooms.
Yeah,
And
that's
the pay for play is more about the trophies and access. We have more people going there, that's for sure. But what happened today in front of the school, the kids are doing this, the e-bikes in front of the school, so we damage the grass. So that basically, if you damage over there, you have 3 programs. Lacrosse just started this season, soccer and flag football. And like almost 1,000 residents during that during this season, like from February to May, the most Also of residents.
I'm concerned, I just want to make sure that we've go back in time and keep talking about how much we poured into these fields. Is this something palatable? I guess overall with, I know we've gone through vendor changes, we've done a lot of things with these fields. I mean, I know rec committee typically doesn't talk about the day-to-day maintenance, but
Well, people will actually pay it.
well, also the implications of doing this to the field, like what's gonna happen? Like, is this gonna end that?
The only concern from a management perspective is the fields are already not resting enough
Mhm.
based on the amount of usage they get.
Mhm.
So now you're possibly adding additional usage to the field. I mean, granted, it would be somewhat offset by the pay for play, but that would just be the additional concern.
Well, we could still say no,
Yes, you can.
right? Easier if the paper
Yeah.
is in effect, right? Or am I not understanding how?
Yeah, I'm getting confused now.
So, okay. In 3 sentences on what pay for play is.
They're renting the field.
They just-
for-
it's a
for-
rental.
Yeah,
And that's how it's been.
no.
No,
Oh, okay.
So where I'm going with this is, have we modeled the rental cost, and is that gonna be enough to cover potentially the increase in utilization / reserve / everything that we continuously pour into this?
So I would say we should kick that back to the rec committee for further discussion before the board.
That's my concern, because we receive this thing consistently, we've never addressed the actual drainage. I know that's gotten a little bit better. We poured just so much money into this. I don't know what you all think, but
Okay, so in the past, there has not been a pay-for-play reservation.
No, so there was a period where no use other than partner program use.
right,
Then there was an adjustment that if somebody reached out to Parks and Rec and said, hey, can I kick a ball around for an hour? And we had somebody on site and they weren't being used by a partner program, that we would go open the gates for them, stay up there while they were utilizing it, and then let them exit, lock it back up. And that's kind of the state that we're in right now.
And then how would the pay-per-play look? Like, how would that,
It would be a reservation system through Parks and Rec.
would it be like online, or do they have to like email, kind of like renting a room?
They would take email right now.
And then do we know how much that would cost?
I don't know what the cost was that they were.
and you're talking about staffing time too, right? Because there's,
And then does the staff have to stay on the field?
I would recommend it.
So I think,
it's-
I think we've discussed this here. It's out in the community. Let's get that information in over 2 weeks, see what feedback we get.
yeah, I think just.
But also, I feel like adding a goal to one of these fields, since they're no longer here, would be good.
yeah,
And that might also, and that's kind of like a come and go type thing, that might help alleviate some of that.
Yeah, to Jared's point, I think we just developed this a little more, just so it's camera ready, but I think it paid, I mean.
because right now, if you wanted to have a pickup game somewhere, they're really good. One place to have a pickup game.
Yeah.
Some sort of
Well-
Temporary goals.
sponsor or something.
The paper play would be only during staff hours, right? So if someone wanted to do it at 6 o'clock, most likely.
Well, we have
You're
Parks
so-
and Rec and things.
All right.
The basic place is also more about to go to see who is really there, because if we don't have anybody that gates is open, someone can buy the window.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything, so. The digital pay for play, we have the forms and everything all set, but the price was very, very low because it was before 2019. Before the COVID did that.
The goal is not to offset the maintenance cost. The goal is essentially
Yeah.
to keep track of who's there.
Well,
It's also, it's
but maintenance is a,
the maximum.
I mean, we could also do it for trial, like, nothing has to,
So we'll develop the idea a little bit more.
and see like what the feedback is, see how it's working.
I'm just super sensitive about the maintenance side.
Well, that's part of But goals on, to get here or there would help this also.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that
And
additional goal,
specific pricing on the goal.
yeah, would be really helpful.
So go to next steps.
Yep.
Okay. Anything else? Okay, motion to approve vending machine contract for replacement in CCFC.
So this went through ARC and the rec committee. They want to put it right next to the bulletin boards and the breezeway.
That is a rendering.
This is.
Yeah,
rendering.
rendering.
Yes,
That
No,
was
that's- yeah.
spirited discussion. at ARC.
Is that disagreeable, Greg?
No, that it was already there. They thought that it was already there.
Yeah, it's good.
And they're like, no, that's not, that's a rendering of it.
Yeah,
What
this
it's-
AI's get really good.
Yeah, so,
So, yeah, this is good. I mean, they'll have access to this during staff meetings time. Locking of the gate won't affect the ability to service this.
Correct.
Okay.
and it's not viewable from the public street.
I think it's a nice touch.
That's good. Let's put that everywhere.
One of
One of lakeside,
I think one of side would be good, honestly.
Anything else?
one on Campus Road.
I plan on showing chips.
So one in here, I'm hungry. Yeah.
That's it.
Donuts last.
You're losing the straw.
Yeah, all right.
Recirculating pump at Lakeside.
Recirculating,
Recirculating pump lakeside pool speeds and the spies for speeds, speeds, thank you. 4465, $4,465 for CROA reserve.
This is another one that's already been purchased and actually installed this week. That's been out of the operating account. If this is approved, it'll become a reserve expense of it is a motor for the pool.
We've done this a few times or.
Not for the recirculating.
No, okay.
That does.
Done
bring you
almost
in.
everything. We're close to
Yes,
having.
We're close to
enough.
having.
And that circles you
There was a
into.
breaker last month.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. So,
And the K is a similar.
it's a case, okay. Any other discussion? Do you all want to talk about the auxiliary?
And
The
that was-
auxiliary, the main purpose of it is to allow our team to do maintenance on the circulation pump to prevent replacement.
Are there any other recirculation pumps that are coming up since you put two?
Not at that location.
We just got through JKNL. Anything else on JKNL? No? Good. Okay. And then the last one, motion to approve early closure for annual staff appreciation outing in March 5th, 2026. No. Don't appreciate it.
How early?
3 p.m.
Just kidding.
Get over to the space by 4 p.m.
I think this has been done before, you
Yeah,
just
we
let
did.
the residents know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's.
All right. Well, good time. 6:26. Our discussion on a weather camera.
I could present it. This was actually discussed in the communication committee as having like a weather camera for celebration. And then, it's something that like, residents could see or even people outside celebration. I think just recently, it was really nice when we had that beautiful gold sunset or orange sunset. Everyone was showing pictures. They showed like a picture, I think it was the new resort, they had one and they showed, I was like, oh my gosh, that looks so great in celebration. But they also went ahead and talked to IT about it to make sure that this is something that would work well with our systems and be feasible. And they said yes, and I think the preliminary was like around 1,000, which I am a little sensitive to because like we are spending a lot of money. However, I think one of the things that we were discussing in communication is the possibility of on the weather camera, like feed, maybe like allowing like businesses to advertise at the bottom at a certain like rate. But I don't know like that, we didn't get far into like what that rate would be, but like, or like at that time. So essentially it could be helpful to generate revenue as well. There's like that possibility if we wanted to go that route.
Well, what is the local news? What control does the local news station have over that?
Jennifer was speaking with Wesh about doing it, and then they would then possibly like pull up our feed, like when you're watching the news. And then it's like, okay, now let's go to Celebration, Florida, and then they would pull up our weather camera to see the sky.
But then they're gonna control the sponsorships of that.
correct.
Right, we would get it.
They won't want anything on the feed itself.
Correct.
Only very preliminary conversations happened between Jennifer and Wes on that, and it was mainly just to see if they were interested in a partnership on this, but nothing further.
Does the partnership just mean them having access to our feed? They're not contributing in any way. They're not specing the camera. They're not.
At this point, yes.
Okay.
So the only thing that I'll say to this, and you can kick me now when I say this, is this to me seems more of a CJC thing.
Well, part of, from my understanding initially was, so Jennifer, worked with Kanoa
Yeah.
and CROA. Her time was split. So this was like an initiative to, for essentially both
Yeah, But
organizations.
it's, so like, let's say it costs $1,000. I would say have Canoa pitch in 500, we pitch in 500, whatever, and then call it a day.
Yeah.
I didn't know I don't want to do any of the.
No, but float it.
Yeah, but if you're allowing a news entity to access your weather camera, that's driving
It's driving business for celebration.
ears and eyes into celebration. Look how beautiful it is. I
Yeah.
wish you go visit.
Well, the hotel alone would be in the shop.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah, there, the mounting would be over at Lakeside. They discussed areas and then Lakeside would be the spot.
So it's
where it
on
would
the
be.
property,
Mhm.
on our property, on the building facing Lake Run.
So
But yeah, and it is essentially, it's a shout out to Celebration Florida.
how would we mobilize this? Like, what would we need to do to start up if we decided to take this up? Like, what are the, we'd have to engage with Wesh, we'd have to negotiate a contract, we'd have to bring in our attorney, I assume, we'd have to, actually probably have to bring in CJC.
Well,
But that's-
we should
we-
get this to
We,
CJC.
I think, yeah.
I put this on the agenda for that.
I think we can get to CJC and see if there's appetite on the Canoa side to even do it. And if they come back and say no, then it comes back to us and then we need to figure out, is that something we want to swallow? Or
So are we all aligned on kicking this over to CJC? At least, yes.
Because to me, I would rather purchase a soccer goal than the weather camera right now.
Agreed.
Can this be on the agenda for the next meeting?
For Thursday, you can add it to Thursday if you want.
Okay. Cool, let's do it. Okay. Anything else? Idle transfer capital contribution charge.
Okay, so we're pretty sure we know the answer to this question, but we just wanted to bring it up for transparency purposes, because legally, there are a number of title transfers that could trigger the capital contribution charge. When it's LLC to LLC, but it's abundantly clear when you read the LLC documents, but it's the same owner.
Yeah.
That technically triggers the charge, but we haven't been charging it. We brought it to the finance committee. They say, no, let's not do that, just when it's abundantly clear that it's a new owner. So we just wanted to bring it to the board for awareness that this is the practice that we're following currently.
Do we need to pass a resolution to formalize that?
Not necessarily.
So you're fine, just as long as
Yeah,
you get
Charlie
direction.
said it was,
There's still the fee that they incur. Is there an estoppel or anything done at the time of, like, if you're just switching it from LLC to LLC?
no, there's not an estoppel file. They're filing a quick claim deed with the county. So the only reason this came up is we were trying to reconcile, so thank you. The capital account with the actual resale amount. And when we pulled all the resales, even $0 resales, these all showed up. Some of them should have triggered, which we then went back and put those in, but some of them did not trigger it. Because it was the same owner, so there's not a new resident coming in saying, hey, I need an ID. Yeah.
So there's no staff time.
There's no staff time involved.
And, okay, then that's, yeah,
So if someone sells the house to themselves, they don't have to pay.
yeah.
Is this happening all that frequent? Like how many?
No,
So, all right.
3 or 4 a year.
You need this as a what, though?
nothing. We were just, this is
Oh, it's
just
just
a
awareness.
Yeah.
awareness.
Would it be hard to make it into a resolution just so we have
I think
documentation?
we should.
We can, yeah, that would be easy. We can put it on your agenda.
We're all gone.
Yeah,
Potentially.
and there's, no question.
I'll have Charlie present.
All right, so
My
we'll-
vending machine business takes off.
what did you say?
My vending machine business takes off.
You like that?
That sounds like a lot of work, right?
You put mulcher.
Charles,
Sir, yes.
the capital contribution part, a number of us, historically, we've all paid that. And so if that's going to be a change, I think you need to be letting all the residents know.
Not a change.
It's not a change.
It's only if it is a change, Jim, because if you transfer your house from your ownership into your trust, which is ultimately into an LLC, you've always paid the transfer. I've done it. So don't say to me that they don't charge it, because they do. And so is Claire LaBrue, she paid it. So if you're changing it, then it needs to be ratified so that everybody knows.
We'll draft the resolution with Charlie to make sure we're all.
Okay.
To make sure
Yeah, we're gonna have a resolution written up.
Yeah.
And we'll vote and it'll be noticed.
And that's,
And I think we need to get the permutations to the point that if it's a
All the options.
LLC, LLC, trust to trust, what we all, owner to trust, all those things. Yeah, we just need to get that document.
Thank you.
any other questions? Okay. Utilizing CROA maintenance team for service area sidewalk grinding.
Yes, so this was brought up by Alex, our new director of service areas, as he's been out in the field and doing a lot of work on our different townhome duplex service areas. There are small sections of sidewalk that are not the CDD sidewalk in front. These are usually access paths to garages along the back way. We've been needing to outsource private contractors to do sidewalk grinding, because they're rising by roots. With the recent acquisition CROA made of a sidewalk grinder, they've done hundreds of linear feet already. With that saving roughly about $10,000 if we were to outsource that work just already with that purchase. Luis, our director of facilities, and Alex, our director of service areas, were talking on this. They were seeing if they could take advantage of this in-house service and use this, charging $300 per sidewalk section, which is a 3-foot section, from CROA charging the service area directly that amount.
And there's 14 service areas. How many are actually in scope for something like this? Do they all have?
Almost all of them have.
And we have the staffing, we have the ability to be able to take this on.
Yes,
Is 300 less than they would pay otherwise?
yes, for
That's-
$200
Yeah.
is less than they'd be paying otherwise, and it does cover the, covers the staff time.
It's a substantial decrease because you're not having to hire a contractor to come in and do it. So it's a savings to the service areas.
Yeah, that's the main reason it's being brought up, is it would be a savings to the service area, and it wouldn't be at a detriment to, to CROA.
Who covers the equipment too, though?
Yes,
We own the equipment, right?
we own the equipment,
Yeah, but
right?
there's depreciation on
Just the
that.
blade on it.
Or the cover factor, so it would address some of the depreciation on the.
So the only thing that I would say is that I don't think we should require a service area that has a service area committee to use the in-house team. If they want to pay more
Correct.
for an external vendor,
They will be very vocal about that.
Yeah.
They'll tell us which vendor. they
Yeah,
are.
that's fine.
They-
Uh,
yeah.
I think that it's essentially offering the service.
It is, it's offering.
Yeah.
I like this too, because we heard from the town hall, some of the things we were doing in the service areas. I think to the extent we continue to find these opportunities where it makes sense. And we talk about pressure, well, and some things we just can't. That we have to outsource it, but this is gutter cleaning, yeah, yeah. Yeah, so this is good stuff. Okay. So do we need any action on this? Is this just gonna be, we don't need to vote on this?
No, we can start doing this. We just wanted to bring it to the board.
Anything else? No. Portion of Lakeside Playground equipment removal.
Yeah, so Diane Honell, who's been working with the rec committee on plans for this playground, as most of this equipment is aging out, recommends removal of the spinning component of the Lakeside LSI playground due to the rust of the ball bearings, which may cause it to break away during heavy use. Given the community's sensitivity with playgrounds, this removal of this equipment is a $660 plus some. It may require some additional cost to fill in these holes that was mentioned. But we wanted to bring this to the board before we did this and pulled an additional piece out of this playground, which already has some components that haven't been moved.
I don't think Diana's led us astray at this point.
She hasn't, I do think that we will, so I went out and looked at this. Number one, I couldn't figure out how the heck you're gonna get that thing out of there without, I don't know how that works. But I'm sure she knows how to figure it out. But just, if you go back up to the top picture, the whole tan white part gets removed, right?
So it's from where the mulch goes here,
Yep.
this circle, and then these two.
Those two bars go away, so it would be a dangly piece hanging out. Okay. When is this realistically going to get replaced? Because there's next to nothing left of this thing that's kinetic.
It was supposed to be last.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Diane is actively working on bids. She has bids from 3 different vendors. She's supposed to meet again with the rec committee on February 23rd, I want to say.
February.
Yeah, so they're February. And we can start marching down this path and escalate that up. We had planned on trying to push this as a start of 2027, just because of funding and all the other projects going on.
Okay.
Okay, how much, I think I've asked this 100 times. But reserves for Lakeside is like around like 120,
I want to say it's 142.
Not enough.
Playground?
right?
Not enough, but
Not
Yeah,
enough.
I'm just trying to like.
Yeah, it's funny moment.
And yeah, it's quite well done. So, and what we've asked from Diane, when we brought it to the board to increase, was kind of leading this project is a bare minimum option, a middle of the road option and a pie in the sky option. So at least there was some discussion and then there could be some direction from the committee and the board of, okay, which one do we pursue when we go out to, get final numbers?
I assume the replacement of that one piece.
There, she sent an email today saying there isn't a replacement for that piece available because it's been modified.
So we're just gonna remove it
Yes.
altogether.
$144,000 is in 2026 allotted to the playground.
Okay,
Okay.
is there any way we could ask Diane if there's something we could replace it with? And then when we do redo the playground, that piece still stays, like
The vending machine, huh?
not like interfere with the new piece, like is that an option? So that way, if we're waiting till next year, like. I mean, the slide we had to remove because it was recalled, and then now this,
But do you want to spend $2,000 on something that we're gonna take out next year?
well, that's what I'm saying. That we
Or this year.
wouldn't have to take out.
We're often hit, even if it's, I mean, when we look even the teeter totter installations, I mean, while the acquisition of the teeter totter may be around 2,000, we're still at another 1,000 to 2 with the installation of the footers. The footer is where we're hitting, costs that can be equivalent to a low cost piece of equipment.
You guys are gonna really kill me when I say this, but are we getting to the point where maybe we need to just look at the full, the total, so we're starting to see failures right on this, and I imagine probably other things, and then who knows what's under it at this point. So we have this right now in the 2026 reserve. Is this something that ultimately you're gonna be recommending that we replace in 2026?
We can recommend that. We're already in the process of getting bids and getting plans and ready to go. We were just trying to stretch it out until
I
27.
would prefer to take it on the
But if
chin.
you want to
That's just-
escalate it up,
we've-
or
Well,
if you want us to,
I don't know.
So we received this revised scope today of it, and it does, so this would be keeping the footer in ground for this current piece. And then remove
That's
it.
under $1,000.
Here's my ultimate question, and I think it will help with this and other projects. And I was gonna ask if Ray could give us a projection, a 6-month projection, taking into consideration a lot of these hypotheticals, like department rec fees, like maybe it comes, maybe it doesn't. Reserve expenditures, that we're doing right now for all these different things. Essentially home sales, where we're coming in capital. Potentially added income from naming rights. In some sort of projection 6 months out, so we can have an idea of where we stand financially. And then I think that might, for projects like this, give us better insight on, where we're at, how long we should wait financially to move forward.
That's fair.
I think for the purpose of this, we have a playground safety certified officer giving us a report that this is dangerous. I think it needs.
Hold on.
Yeah, for this, yes, but then
We
the
need to
point
figure out
of-
the long term though.
We need to have an answer for the community if you keep pulling things off. the
Right.
playground and you're not doing anything about it. When are you doing something?
And I don't know if the answer is 2027, considering it's like 12 months. So, but financially, it may have to be, depending on our finances. So I think that would help guide us better 6-month projection to see so that way come July, we're not like, oh my goodness.
Well, that leads us to our next topic of the
Yeah.
multi-purpose courts, and this and that are two big expenditures that are, not similar in size, but notable to the community.
So let's button this up. So we're good on going back to Diana.
It's on.
so we're trying to schedule a meeting with Diane at
Alright.
the end of this month, beginning of February. So we'll talk with her and we'll get ready to do some projections.
All right.
Yeah,
When we
And
talk about
include
2027, we're actually looking at Q4 of this year as far as bringing things to the board of what these soft numbers and things are, so we can see work in 27.
if you want to
Having
do add
discussions
12
later
months,
this year.
6 months and 12 months, that's good, if he thinks that's helpful, but at least 6 months to give us an idea.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Vehicles too.
Yeah, just kind of like everything that's been on this agenda.
Because all this is good momentum and we want to do all this stuff. What can we actually afford to do?
Yeah, we wanna,
Right.
yeah, we wanna make sure we're not like, and we had some surprises in the 2026 budget already, so if you could take those into consideration for operating, you
Well,
know.
and we're still gonna see surprises with Baker King.
Correct. And pools, which is also
Yeah,
several. It's on here. So, all right, are we good on next steps on this? Okay, great. Anything else? Nope, okay. Yes, so now let's go multi-function court fencing.
We're not gonna talk about torque fencing, but Joe is here to talk about some of our master plan projects.
So we're not talking about multi-function courts?
Yeah, we're not fencing.
I'll talk about two topics, just to pull it up with this chart.
Okay.
They're related for a second. So two topics. First of all, I'm Joe Zalek and I'm representing the master planning group. Just to be here tonight. Or you can leave it up if you like. There we go. I want to talk about, first of all, it was about 9 months ago, I was here, representing the master planning group asking for approval for the splash pads. And I am so excited. Yesterday, Jared, Eric, and a few of us met with the contractor, officially pressed the start button. And you have a picture, maybe? We have a picture? We get just a picture of, there we go. Okay, and so the picture doesn't do it justice. It's just beautiful. It's got over 80 different splash buckets, slides. It's super exciting. The surface is great. So I'm excited. First of all, it came in under budget. It came in the scope and the product as contracted. So we're super excited about that. And so the only thing that didn't come in where I want to give a check mark, and this, first of all, this project was one of the first projects, I think, where we project management, manage it internally. And I'll take a little bit of the hit on the timing. While it came in per the contract, I committed to you that we'd have it done probably 60, 75 days ago. So, okay, it's coming in late. Why is that? Why is the reason we can't take down the fence? We're still waiting on approvals from the state and the county to sign off on and basically giving us a certificate.
Compared to where we were with playgrounds and things that have happened in the past, this is
Yeah.
nothing short of a miracle.
Yeah,
So
I got it, but
don't.
whatever. The beauty of it is, it's just great. There's one more picture, two more pictures.
The best thing is.
Oh, there we go. Jared and I got out there, those.
You're in there.
And so.
Looks like Eric's trying to go down the floor.
Going down the slide.
Eric is gonna go down the slide. Anyways, just super cool. It's gonna be great. We finish up some landscaping, put some chairs in. But I'd like to thank everybody for especially the support of all of you and the community. So that this is the first major project that we delivered in many, many years in the town. So very excited for that. Okay, now we can put up the other chart. So I'm here today, not asking for anything, just kind of give you an update where we are with the multi-sport courts. That are going to be up in Lot B. This has been an iterative process as you all approved funding for an architect late last year. We've been working with that architect and it's been a long process. We're probably on our 5th or 6th version of what the plan looks like. I gotta thank, we all need to thank the community that does Mark Ventura, who was our in-house expert. He's been revising plans himself, giving it to the architect, and he's been working like our external architect. And he's helped us because what are we trying to do? We're trying to reduce the cost and increase the scope. So as you see right now, if you add it up, there are 22 different courts that are going to be up there. 22 different sports courts. You can play 15, you can use 15 of those courts at the same time. And you can't use the half courts and full court basketball at the same time and others. But at least right now, with the current layout, this is what it is. That may change over time when we get to the final bid. Before we approve anything, we want to change things and look at things we can. But right now, we're putting a stake in the ground and we'll show you what this looks like on the next page. But we're excited we're able to add to some of the space. Initially, the covered area was this big. Now it's this big. When we shrunk it down, what we were able to do is we were able to add in a green space to be able to add in spaces for cornhole, for bocce, foursquare, and other putting green if we want. There's a bunch of green spaces you'll see on the next page. So we've got that flexibility. We've got covered space. We have a bathroom now for the dog park. we've got storage space, and we've got the courts as we were outlined based on community input in the strategic master plan. Right side, you can just see some of the semantics. We'll have enough parking, per code. We'll have covered, seating for the sports courts, or if you all decide you want to be able to rent it out for parties, there'll be kind of space that was covered, have a party and then maybe people playing various activities. Or even as parents are playing, some sports, we've got the Foursquare, which Marco could tell us what that is, but it's sports the kids like. And so we'll have this flexibility here, but we're very excited about it. So as far as time frame goes, we're going to complete in the next 60 to 90 days, all the detailed plans. And, there's just been issues that just keep coming up, everything from drainage to setbacks to yesterday, who knew, but this other people who get a vote on what the outside of the covered area looks like, the Disney company, I guess.
Yeah, the celebration company has the ability to
So
comment.
we'll work through all that. That's what we do. Right now, need to worry about it, but
Sponsor too, Sarah.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, well, but anyway, so we're gonna work through this. We'll then put it out to bid. We'll then know for the first time what the time frame is and what the cost is. We'll come back to you. We'll show you what that is. We'll show you ways that we can, either increase the cost, increase the scope, or do, push those various levers. And as we work with Jim and the finance team, we look at all the projects that we've got out over the next 48 months. We know what the capital reserve balances are. We try to bring this in and other projects. And it's will get challenging, especially as you just went through as there are other projects that may want to kind of come in and participate in that funding. So last chart, just briefly, is what it looks like. Won't be able to read it probably from here. But just the key things to point out, this is the covered area. These are the bathrooms, as I said, seating area. We've got a storage area, an IT area. Then we've got this. And as Mark likes to say, this is will be the first regulation size box for it.
That's all on lot B.
So all up in.
That's great. That's so much.
And then over here, these will be cornhole, but if you don't want cornhole, that surface there will allow you to play Foursquare. If I tried to measure it today, the croquet guys would have to, one of your regulation size croquet, but there's various things that we can do up there, and then have half court, full court, volleyball overlay, and then the pickleball courts. So that's where we currently are. We're super excited. As I said, we'll come back and give you an update, hopefully within the next 3 to 4 months as we go out to bid, and then come back to you, obviously, this, I would think right now, probably sometime early summer, to ask for the final approval to proceed.
So, I'm sorry.
This was what, 700,000 was what we had as a placeholder for, or am I?
We had 1, 2, and we had 300,000 for lawn sports. So a total of about 1.5. And that was, yeah.
That's it.
So you had some, yes, 700,000. Yeah, good memory, Charles. That's how much is in the outlook for next year,
Got it, okay.
or this year, by 26. 700,000 in, and you'll see the initial sizes and scope we get, the price could be a whole bunch higher, which is why we keep shrinking things down.
Yeah, I'll add to that, that this 8th version that you're seeing here, this is the 8th version where every time it's like, okay, let's get a rough number, we get a rough number. That's not gonna work. Don't even present this to anyone because the number isn't good. This version gets us to where we think we can come within a reasonable budget for what this is and the timeline and everything.
With adding the function, I mean, there's a point where you don't want to spend money and somebody look at it and say, you cut it too much.
Right, if we get smaller,
Yeah,
because
it's
the
a 10 or
bathrooms
20
were,
year
there were
investment.
4 bathrooms, they were over on the other side, there was more seating, so this has been reduced, but, and also. Get the other things. I remember it all. Oh, this right here, there can be 16 simultaneous games happening in this space comfortably, as it's drawn here, of different sports at the same time.
And we don't have to move anything with the dog park fence or anything, that's all.
Nothing,
No.
no,
And there's maintenance easements considered in here, the fence is consistent, so it's all our property.
Yeah,
across.
and-
Did they move the retention? I'm going back
Yes,
to,
yeah.
you did have to move the
So
retention pond,
Well,
or
I'm not
Well, way
asking-
back in time.
That was. When we
The
did the
initial-
dog park.
Yeah.
Yep.
We solved that problem and it created a problem for us on this,
Yeah,
and we're working through it, right?
Okay,
Because
This lot is about a third deeper, and what you're not seeing kind of with flat bar
Yes.
is part of that lot that is part of the retention space.
Yes,
okay, cool.
so yeah, we're kind of moving around the retention space problem and the buck stops here with
The other
this.
added benefit to this is the dog park security system is currently in a can in that it's exposed to the elements and not air conditioned, so it continues to fail. This brings that system into an air conditioned system that will support the dog park and this.
And the bathrooms. support both.
Yes,
But
that-
yeah,
So this isn't the solve for now, but this needs to be considered as part of the whole paper play thing that we just talked about too. I assume this wouldn't be part of that. This would be open space, but it would need to be reserved. It stresses the need to make sure that we get a facility booking system more
Yes.
robust and up and running.
Yes.
in the process of working on that right now.
yeah, this does need to have something like that, but yeah, this
You
is
did
open
very well.
generally,
Yeah.
Yeah,
and then just book as you. need to. It's so great, I'm so excited
Yeah.
about the
I
the
look
work
forward to
that Joe
seeing
and
all of
Mark
you
have
when
done.
we have the official opening of the splash pad, hopefully sometime real soon, but thank you for your continued support.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for all your work on all these projects.
thank you, sorry about this.
And I told you.
We're gonna have pickleball. I feel like that's like, we're gonna have pickleball.
Fencing has been resolved. There was an issue on fencing. We kind of talked about that over again. It's been resolved with the designs.
Great.
And the budget, quite honestly.
Okay.
Issue.
Ready?
Yeah.
Celebration cyclones. Why don't we start with management? If that's okay. Tell us kind of the lay of the land, what's going on right now. What do you all think about going around the hundred before? And then maybe we should open it up to comments, potentially with time limits from the audience. What do you all think about that? So kicking it up with management, do our comments.
I would rather hear from any comments.
You want to do comments first or?
Whoever asked for this to be on the agenda,
I
I think the program asked for this to be on the agenda. So
Yes.
let them speak first.
But if
Or do you want,
management wants to
let's let them, okay,
brief the situation and then.
Good. okay, all right. So,
Okay, so towards the end of that last year, during when the contracts were being discussed by the rec committee, the cyclones were invited along with all the other partner programs to come discuss their contract with the committee. They did not attend that meeting. It was kicked to the board after the rec committee recommended the contract. The board approved that contract in December. It was not executed. At the time it was presented to the cyclones. The response was they were wanting to discuss a $0 agreement. Nikki informed me that that was not an option and that she would put it back in front of the board for them to have a consultation with the board. At this point, you do not have an executed contract, but the program is still functioning.
to clarify, the partner program is operating without a contract.
Yes.
Okay, all right.
That did not sound good.
Hang on, just a second. Okay. So, anything else? Okay. You all want to come up and,
Yeah.
okay. So just so we set kind of the rules of engagement, kind of give us what's going on and,
Kelly George, Kelly Walton.
Yeah.
I've lived here in Celebration for 23 years. Been a long time educator. I have coached at the pools in Celebration for 20 years. This is actually my 20th, I'm going on year 26 of coaching at Lakeside Pool. I have never seen the pool facilities in such a poor condition. Unsafe conditions. In the last year, I've had to report issues of mosquitoes because chemicals were not added to the pool. Our swim team was getting sick. There was another time that the pool management had left the pool hose on and the entire father-daughter dance that was set up at Lakeside was about to be flooded out because management had not turned off a hose. Thankfully, my husband and I were there, caught it, emailed everyone, and it was taken care of. All the time, we are having to report issues to management and frequently not follow, it's not dealt with in a timely manner. And then I'm having to contact the board to make sure that things are addressed. In my years in coaching, I have coached for Celebration High School. I have coached for Special Olympics Florida. Now we run a USA swimming program. We have launched a US Masters program just as of 2026, thanks to a grant that we got from USA Swimming. Without the grant that we got from USA Swimming, Celebration Cyclones would no longer be in business. And this is purely due to facility issues. Our families love our program. We love our families. We love this town. But the way that the pools have been managed is just disgraceful. Absolutely disgraceful.
There's no communication from this management company. We have showed up to the pool with our families to find out it's 60 degrees. And then we have no idea what to do. Okay, I don't think it's very hard. As a partner program, we are. I mean, it doesn't feel that way from them. It is not the board. You guys have always been there for us. Whenever we have a problem, we contact you. We've been told by Lauren, don't contact the board.
I've been told to not speak to vendors who are at the pool today because the wrong size lane lines were delivered.
Just to speak on that, that's a general practice. The board doesn't speak to vendors. That's. a
And
general
that's fine, but I was
there as
there as a resident. I met our coach, who is a provisional USA swim coach under my direction. We are helping him with completing his college education and sponsoring his visa status so he can continue to coach with us.
They just happen to be right there.
And we happen to be there because I always meet with him at Lakeside. And so I happen to be there. I'm very knowledgeable about swims, all things swim. USA Swimming sent me to a Build a Pool conference, and I have my own network of vendors.
We want to offer this to the town.
So,
We want to help. That's all we
I
want.
just want there to be a facility for these kids to train in.
okay, all right, so we want to open it up to anyone in the audience. Do we want to talk amongst ourselves? What we
I don't know what the ask is.
Yes, can we, can we summarize the ask, please?
So our ask is, so last year we were without a pool for 3 months. None of our members left us. They paid their monthly dues to keep us going. We offered dryland activities, we offered different things. We were still charged. No pool facility, we were using the Great Lawn. We were still charged to pay. We gave back to our members $310 each. We didn't have to do this. Maybe this was a bad business decision, and it was. We ended up giving $14,000. I told her it, $14,000. We waived our fees. In March, we wanted to charge our $150 registration. How could we? There was no pool. So we didn't charge that. We grandfathered 40 to 50 members, $20 each for the rest of 2025. So
90% of whom are Celebration residents who
residents.
already paid for these.
So
facilities.
you're asking us to make concessions in the contract that you all,
So for this
lower our
year,
price.
for
this year.
this year.
For
Okay.
this year,
So
lower our
specifically,
price.
what are you asking us?
So here's what I will say. Under normal circumstances, our team is eligible for grant money with USA Swimming that will help us with these facility costs. We were granted one of those grants last year towards adult swimming. The other grant I have applied for, these grants are supposed to clear in February. We're in final review process with USA Swimming and US Masters for both grants. These grants are going to make or break whether our team stays here in town, because we cannot continue to train in a facility. I love that we have a facility. Don't get me wrong. I don't want to seem ungrateful, but there's no backstroke flags here. Backstroke flags are a really simple ask. I met with management a year ago to discuss backstroke flags at this pool. It is not really particularly safe for my swimmers to be doing backstroke in a pool with no backstroke flags. Those flags are there so that they know where the wall is and don't hit their heads. There are still cones out there. There are still literal orange cones covering where the backstroke
Okay.
holes are, but nothing was ever done.
Hang on. What's the ask?
Okay, here's my ask. I think I would like to propose that Cyclones directly deal with the board and not go through management for some of the aquatic facility needs. I don't know what that looks like, but with the splash pad opening at Lakeside, there's so much invisible work that we do as a program. I can't tell you how many times we have had to tell management to take out the trash at Lakeside because it was overflowing.
Stop, I'm tired of you complaining about management. Tell me what you're asking for.
$0 for the rest
Yeah,
of this year.
for this year.
Okay, so here's the deal. I've been here for 2 years, and for 2 years, we have been unable to meet your needs.
No, why don't you give it to someone else then? 2 years, that's not a very long time.
I've been here for 3 and it's the same.
Okay,
I'm
Put your
trying to
memory
tip
cap
you
on.
off to the playground equipment being stolen because management wasn't there.
okay, here's the deal. I understand you're complaining about me. You have to remember, I was the one that was responding to you and going out to the facilities when you were complaining about things. So if you want to try to get an advocate, let's not attack me. Here's the deal. We clearly cannot meet your needs. That has been made abundantly clear. If we understand that there's facility concerns, we didn't charge you for all the 100% cost of that last year. There were reductions made. There were, yes.
3 times you guys charged us half price.
Yeah, and you said that we were out of the pool for 3 months. So for 3 times, we charged you 50% for that. We also provided alternate locations as well. We also purchased new swim lanes for this pool so that they didn't need to go back and forth. So I think vilifying the board in this is not the best point. So, but here's my piece. I'm concerned that no matter what we do, even if we were to move forward with a $0 contract, our facilities are inadequate for your needs. Because you're telling us that right now.
So you're suggesting that the 85% of residents that are on our team, that we should go find a more competitive pool, a different facility. That's what you're suggesting.
Yeah,
So all of the kids who ride their bike from K8, you think we should find a different pool?
you're telling
You
me,
think that that's representative of what this community wants? Because you are tasked with representing the community, not your personal needs. Do you believe that that is what the community wants? They want us to go to iDrive. Is that what you think that's what people want?
no,
We had someone join our masters team this evening because he was
Kelly,
here.
I'm not gonna get into a back and forth with you, which we already are in. Here's the deal. You've told me the facilities are unsafe. We
They are.
told you that we can't do things. So in my opinion, we shouldn't even be holding anything here, period.
That's a shame.
All right, so,
This-
all right, so we heard the ask, so the ask is, you're asking, hang on,
Okay, more
Hang on.
than $0, just
One second.
let us.
you're asking us for a zero, so you're asking for a $0 contract
No,
for the
make
rest of the year.
it 100.
Let's,
You just said 0.
Give me something. I don't know. What we're paying you now, near $1,000 a month, is breaking us. Because we gave back to the community as community members. $14,000 because they could not fix the pool. We were telling them.
That was a decision
Months.
you made. The total fee that you pay a year is less than $10,000. That's the total expense, the total cost. The total cost to the community is twice that. That's what it costs CROA. It costs Celebration almost $20,000 for you to operate your program. You
To use
pay,
the pool for an hour and a half?
yes.
No.
If,
It
for as
costs
many
you-
days as you do, and for the chemicals, and for the maintenance, and for all the things,
That's.
so I have another question too, because we are a not-for-profit organization. And the Montessori school, which is a for-profit school accepting school vouchers, they have free use of these fields, playgrounds, and sidewalks that are now having to be repaired and replaced.
What's the difference between us?
So
We have 80,
why?
85% residents.
Okay.
What did they say? They have
We are a
20?
501c3. We are begging for money with a swim-a-thon right now through the USA Swimming Foundation to pay you.
All right, thank you. Do you want
Yeah, I
to
just
get,
wanna-
okay, then we'll go through the board. Okay. Go.
Personally, like my opinion, like, obviously I want to see the program forecast. And I think what happened last year was like, just like, it was definitely a one-off.
Which is
year.
why we're asking for an exception.
So, but what I want to look at though is this year. And some of the things I feel like were able to accommodate. So when there was a situation with the circuit breaker at Lakeside affecting the heater, I'm told that's now been repaired. But but now we have heaters working at Spring Park, which weren't last year.
Yes, thank God.
So we had that backup. However, So in case there is an issue, we have a second pool with heaters. However, the backstroke flags are definitely an issue. And we discussed that at our next workshop. So in case we do need to like pivot pools. So I definitely think that we can help resolve.
But I've been asking management for that for a long time, for well over a year.
So
So why is it taking this discussion
Katie,
to make that
Katie, you want
happen?
to finish?
Sorry.
It's okay. Let Katie finish and then I want to.
So I definitely, I mean, I see the value that the program provides for all the kids. Obviously, I was a swimmer, so I get all of that. You guys are a partner program. The Montessori school is completely different. They don't have, they don't have the ability to reserve space. That would be like saying you can use the pool, but the residents can use the lanes at the same time.
We never closed the pool.
No, I'm saying using the exact same lane at the same time. So there definitely needs to be some reservation status. And that comes with the partner program. Same with, access to like management support. Because even if you did just deal with the board, like there's stuff that we cannot do as volunteers that we have a management company in place for. So like that support is definitely needed for any partner program.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like, and then we have like a committee of resident volunteers that help us decide what we need to make those rates be. So like in my mind, I feel like we can try with some of these changes this year, help the program be more successful going forward with, a backup plan now with Spring Park. And even I think, I don't know, Island Village is also having lap lanes with a heater, I believe, as well. So we'd even have like a third option going forward. So I do see like a potential, like a future going forward. Last year was horrific. It was like,
Which is why we're
Murphy's
here.
Law just happening month after month after month.
Yeah.
But I don't want that to be kind of like our thought, that's gonna happen every single year. We have to be
Yeah.
realistic.
All
with
right.
that.
I mean,
So, all right, so we've heard the problem. Let's talk about the solution at this point, okay? Does that work? Let's talk. All right, so do you want to address anything that was discussed, anything in particular from a management perspective, not aligned? So you guys are good. We're gonna just talk as a board. Thank you. What's that?
maybe we came on a little strong. We're very passionate for all the kids and
It's
stuff.
Actually,
And we are not attacking.
Can I say something
Yeah,
to that
of course.
specifically, because I don't know you well, I casually, but I will say. Because one of your asks was to deal with the board and not with management, that just doesn't work. If you think you're not getting good service now, you're definitely not gonna get it from all of us.
Plus, it opens everyone up to contact the board.
Right, and I've seen communications between you and staff, and I've seen between you and management, and I've seen emails, and I've seen texts. And how I'm experiencing you now is not a good look. It is very aggressive, and that's how these emails have been, and that's how the texts have been, and it's been with multiple, hold on. It's very important that this dialogue is both ways, because right now you're just yelling at us, and I've seen you yell at staff and yell at management and say, you have freedom of speech to talk to whoever you want. And there are ways that we need it to be both ways. I get that we can do things better with management. We did resurface a pool. We only do that every 30 years. That fell at a bad time for you. It had to happen either way. So I think it was a lot of things aligning, but we have to be, I'm asking for your respect to how you speak to people on staff and in the community.
Sounds good.
That's important here.
That's fair.
All right, thank you. Hang out. Let's talk.
So I'm not gonna address everything that I disagree with in some of those statements. I will just say that the 3 months that we were down due to the pool heaters last year, they were discounted a 50% rate, as we shared with the board this morning. They were also allowed to use the Island Village Clubhouse at no cost for their dry practices, which is certainly a significant dollar value based on the rental value and
It was all.
Hang on.
and the security deposit that's required. We don't have anything else to comment on other than what was provided to you in the email with the information you requested.
Okay.
Sorry, well, I'll say one other additional item that we are looking at, especially with town hall, is partner program and club storage facilities inside the town, as we are limited on storage capacity. CROA rents multiple storage facilities and pays those fees every month. So this is one of the very, very few programs that does have a storage facility at
with CROA.
One other thing, with the new lane lines that were purchased, the ones that were sent to Lakeside was a vendor error with the wrong one. That's why the vendor was out here with Danny today to correct the issue. They're shipping the ones at no cost to CROA. The ones that were also purchased for Spring Park and Lakeside render the need for flags not necessary because of the markings on them. They allow you to tie your strokes to the wall and make it confirmed.
I get that, but it does need to be discussed.
That's fine. I just wanted to.
It's completely, it's,
That storage facility, I asked 3 months ago, there are rodents in there. I have pictures. I can.
I
show
asked a
you.
year ago.
Annoying.
Christian, I asked Christian, I toured the facility last February with Christian.
But you're
He's
getting
no
that,
longer
you're
here.
getting that at no cost too right now, right?
So we.
I'm not saying that having
They use it because
but
they
all right.
don't fix things.
All right, thank you. We're gonna talk as a board and walk through next steps. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. You guys can sit down. All right, so how do we want to kick this off? So I want to say something too, because I know there were a few emails that came through today. And I'm trying to catch up kind of on what's been happening. I think the one thing that caught me off guard, in all honesty, some of the emails made it seem like we don't want the cyclones in the community. And that to me was hurtful.
Well,
We-
I was just
hang
saying
on,
that.
hang on. We renewed your contract in December. We did. We approved to renew it. If we want to talk about what we can do better, that's a different conversation. But I think an email campaign to say that we don't want you there in the community,
That's not what the
I
email.
but that's how it came
Some of our
across.
members might have taken it, they thought we
Okay.
were reviewing our.
Nonetheless,
contract. They didn't
We came
understand.
to you guys in good faith.
Yeah.
And that I don't think anyone on this board, I don't want to speak for everyone. We want our partner programs to be happy. We want reciprocity. We want to work with you all, but we also have to be fair and equitable, right? We have to do the right thing. Where do you all want to go with this? How do you just want to go down the horn with our thoughts, come up with next steps? I know we've talked through this.
when you think about next step.
Yes, agreed. So
Because right now we don't have a.
We don't vote on anything.
we're not voting on anything, so this is just setting the stage for where do we go from here with.
Okay, well, as an immediate need, we don't have a contract. No program can operate without a contract. For this to continue, we need to put in place, if it's a 1 month at no charge grace period, to get a contract so that liability insurance and a contract is in place, then we need to do that immediately. That has to happen right away. I'm okay if that's at 0 for 1 month, as we discussed earlier. I want a swim program here. I think it's a great program. That's not at all my opinion based on the email slide, because I felt the same way that's how that came across. I think we need to, just now hearing what the ask is, I think we need time to think about what that is, because I think maybe we shouldn't have charged at all for the 3 months. And so some of that can be put forward as a credit. I don't think $0 makes sense.
That's fine, just something better, that's all, just to help.
Right, but so I'm all hearing this now and I don't have an answer right now because of that. I think my immediate suggestion is get a contract signed immediately with insurance so that they can continue their program for the month of January and February, and by the board meeting, we have a
So
conversation.
can I recommend, so you all were not at the recreation committee meeting, correct?
We were not told to attend.
Okay, do we maybe want to start there? Maybe come before the rec committee? Or do we want,
No, this has come to us.
No.
Yeah, that's,
we don't want to go back to the rec committee?
I don't wanna pitch this back to,
Okay.
to put it on them.
Okay.
I think that if we. Here's my concern. My concern is that if we want to come forward with a dollar value to figure things out, there are clear deficiencies in the facilities that we're not able to correct for whatever reason, right now. And so I think we need to figure out, is this something that, because right now that's not in any sort of agreement, that we understand that the facilities are as is. And I think that that's where we need to understand, is that acceptable to both parties to understand that the Cyclones understand the situation that we're in right now? Or do we need to look at, is it more of a, we need to get a a punch list together of everything in order to be able to support the partner program. And then that's a budget decision that we need to figure out. Can we swallow that or not to be able to do? I agree with you, though, that we need to get something in place
Yes.
yesterday on some sort of a contract. And if we do it at $0 for 1 month, or 2 months, fine.
And I understand you're hearing that Eric is saying that he doesn't want a program here. What I'm hearing him say is, we can't provide you what you're asking for. And it does feel like that because you have, I'm sure, 20 more things that we're not doing good enough for you. And it is possible that we can't provide what you need. So we need to figure out how, what we have as a town, all of us, this isn't my pool, his pool, this is everyone's pool. But this is all we have. We can't make it longer. We can't make it wider. We can't make the heaters work every day. But we can't make the heaters work every day. That's something that you're asking
But
for. If
the
they
actual
break,
flex for $1,000 is not hard ask.
sorry.
Maybe it is, I don't know.
So,
We,
sir,
we're happy with what we have, but it comes down to when we ask management for help, we don't get it. And I don't know how else to put it.
all right, so, sir, you go ahead, what's your name and address?
So I am, John Summerfeld. Love the five roasting place here in East Village. We brought our girls here tonight because we support the swim team. Sarah's on the swim team. She has not even been on in a year, and it is her favorite thing. She loves art, she loves crafts, she loves sewing, and she loves swimming. And with all the things today, with all the things we say on front porch, back porch, about kids on bikes, kids on scooters, all the problems, we're never gonna come to agreements with everything. That's just not reality. We complain fingers, we disagree. We're in a community. I'm a business in this community. I don't need celebration. I'm constantly taking care of customers because we love this community. We can point fingers, we can raise our voices, but at the end of the day, we want a place for our kids to grow up that they love. That's why we moved here. There was other places we were looking. Celebration was not on our top list. It's expensive to be here. And so once we moved here, we've been here over 3 years now, we have no desire to leave. Unfortunately, we've become so plugged in with everything and all we hear is screaming. And we need to stop. Both these girls that are here tonight, sitting through this meeting in silence to show support for what Max and Kelly are doing. They have passion. They love what they do. They love the little kids, and they're giving them something to do. They're riding around on their scooters, doing wheelies, which I see every stinking day on every street, and nothing can be done about this. But they're giving the kids something else to do to push themselves. She had her first meet a couple months ago, and she dropped incredible time. She has good potential. Why we're not gonna agree with everything they want, I get it. It's a common sense, we can't do everything, we'll do other things to be better, yes. We have to find the balance of what is important, but safety is a big one, especially for the bachelor. They need to know where they're going. Flexibility, it is what it is. Thankfully, we don't need heaters all the year, we have a couple months, and we get it. But there is a safety aspect too, that we want our kids to make sure that when they are doing their practice swims, they're not gonna run their head into a concrete wall. That's not a hard safety issue to address. So there can be differences, that's fine. But this is what they love, and the team is growing and they're going somewhere. Let's find the balances and remember that we're here as community and neighbors. We're not this board, we're not management. We're people, we're neighbors. This is where we live. Let's calm down and let's find the balance.
Thank you, Mr. Stegman.
Can I make a suggestion? I've obviously sat and listened to both sides. And I've heard what Jared just said about not being able to provide what the swim team need. As a person sitting on the outside, obviously I've lived here for over 20 years. Listening to this is an important part of the community. Probably more important than a lot of the things, but this is an important part. Probably a place to start here is for the swim team to say in writing, this is a list of the things that we're missing, flags, whatever those things might be. This is the dollar amount next to it for these things. You guys then on the board have the information in front of you to be able to make a decision to say, look, guys, we won't charge you for the next 6 months if you supply this stuff. We won't charge you for the next year if you supply this stuff. So management doesn't have to get involved in all these things because we know that that's not maybe very streamlined. We keep the swim team here and we try and help them through this, because one thing I've heard tonight, and I haven't been for a few months, is there's a lot of aspirations in town to build new things, spend millions of dollars on pickleball courts, on cornhole, on splash pads, which is all great. What about the maintenance? I've come tonight to talk about the dog park. What about the maintenance for all of these things? And the swimming pools have been an issue. And I think that if the swim team came up with a list for you guys to look at, to be able to actually consider what they need to be able to function, then that would give you the opportunity to be able to look at it sensibly and go, what can we do to help these people stay here? Because we've got football pitches that don't drain properly, that cost loads of money to maintain, that we have to regrass, that we're now talking about charging residents to book to use. Is that going to go on for all of our facilities? Are we looking that we're going to build these pickleball courts and everybody's going to have to pay to be able to book them? Because personally, that's not what I signed up for.
Thank you.
The context that would help for me, I'm going at it, sorry, is understanding what support we provide to other partner programs. Because I think, I don't know, like if we, for the, and Marco, I'm not gonna put you on the spot here to put another head on it, but if a net tears, who pays for the net? And those type things. So we do. So to me, those type pieces, and not just singling out soccer or swimming, or we don't have a croquet partner program, but I can't think of something else right now, but croquet, tennis, these type things. My challenge is when I look at the contract, what we provide to them, that's not in there. So like, if we do need to state that we provide things like lane lines, or the nets for something, or a tennis net, that's maintained. I understand it gets into a little bit more complicated with contracting, but then it becomes crystal clear who's responsible for what. And then it becomes real easy to then say, we committed to being able to provide X and we're not. So we either need to figure out, the board needs to pony up the money to prepare or buy the thing or do whatever, or we say, yes, we understand that's not in the scope of what we provide you with the facility. That's what I would see as far as a revision. I then think we can start to back into the number that we want to be comfortable with over the next 12 months.
So I would say that like lane lines, backstroke flags, that's for the community in a whole, because we've met so many wonderful people just by running the swim team, adults that swim laps every day and stuff like that. And all we hear from them is, I wish we had this. I wish this would be better. So like the stuff we're asking for isn't just for the swim team.
Last
It's
night,
for this community.
people were ecstatic to have lane lines here and not ropes. Like some of the adult swimmers who come regularly on a Tuesday night, master swimmers, were like, oh my goodness, there's lane lines.
Yeah.
Make them nice.
So you can make a list of whatever
Yeah.
other things there are.
How is
You
it
can
great?
do that.
So,
Absolutely.
so to that point, to Jared, what you were saying, so so for the next steps, for identifying where we are quote unquote deficient, where do we,
Insurance and everything.
where can we, is that a conversation with Nikki in the partner program? What is your recommendation to get this where it needs to be? So let's take a step back. to what was said, we have to address the short term, that we need to think about how do we do a 1 month, whatever that is, extension, so that we can get that
So I'll get a
Right.
1 month extension.
by, and if we have to do a, whatever that is for us to be able.
I'll need a unanimous resolution from the board
Okay.
approving the 1 month extension
Okay.
contract as
So
soon as
that's
I can get it
short term.
approved by Charlie.
Or sign the 1 year agreement and we give back your credit as the board determines. That way, we're not in ambiguity land, we're actually solid, we've got a 1 year commitment.
I wouldn't be comfortable if I was them signing it.
Well, this is a partner program
There's
and it
termination.
needs to.
There's a 30-day term.
There's a 30-day term, so.
Yeah, it's a partner program. I've been on this board for under a year. There's been 2 issues that have generated heat. Both of them have involved kids. So this board cares about the community. And the intense feedback we get from the community with kids issues. Wow. We've supported kids. Most of us on this panel are parents. We love this community. So I would just say dial back the intensity. Let's get into practical next steps. That's what I want to see as a board.
And I would just, so every person on this board, and I would echo this for Don too. Everyone here wants the program. We want swimming, we want our partner program. So let's just stop that right now, right?
It's
Please.
not you guys.
Please, but we can't, that
I'm
narrative.
gonna stop you right there, Matt, because Nikki and I and all of the rest of the team have tried to work with you regularly. She is in regular communication with both of you.
Nikki is
So,
great.
so stop with the, we don't respond, we don't answer. You just said earlier that she doesn't answer. So no, Matt, you had your.
It's you.
I respond to you all the time. I ask you to stop talking to vendors. Show me one email that I have not responded to you, Matt. So enough with the bashing of my team. I'm not gonna take it. You wanna bash me all you want, that's fine.
I think we have to reframe some things. We really do. All right. So this is a good exercise to be able to do that. So Nikki,
Yes, if they wanna supply their list
Okay.
to Nikki.
Okay.
We will put it in the board packet for the 28th.
Yeah.
Yep, for a
and,
discussion.
and do we need to bring, is there going to be finance? Like, do we want to get ahead of this now potentially with engagement?
There's a
I
finance committee meeting on the 22nd.
don't know what you all think about that. Just
I
so
mean,
we're
I
not.
don't think. they-
The numbers are the numbers. If they're gonna be,
All right.
yeah.
Cool. All right. So are we good? Anything else right now?
We need to figure out the short-term contract.
We just, so there are 2 options basically.
Like, Bill mentioned.
So you all can sign it and then that's probably the cleanest way to do this. You have it.
The cleanest way to do what Bill said, rather than like having to read, kind of like come across the.
Whatever's easiest for you guys.
It also takes management time for them to prepare that, which takes away time from swim lane. So there is legit
So,
opportunity
do you
cost.
Reiterate,
So my proposal is sign the agreement and then we talk about some form of credit.
Some modifications.
Some modifications, a credit memo,
because
basically.
we already voted to approve that
Yes.
agreement.
Yeah.
So there's no action needed by the board, and that falls in your court if you sign it.
And if you don't like what we say at the board meeting, you can terminate.
And then
I can tell you, if every kid swims what I signed up on the swim-a-thon thing, I'm gonna pay your things for January anyway.
I think you're hearing, we are in good faith trying to figure this out. So
Yes.
it's with you all as a next step, I think. is
Yeah,
where we're
that's
on.
all we want, is just to work with you
Okay.
guys, so thank you.
All right. So good on next steps. All right. Anything else?
Please send that contract in
Yes.
tonight or tomorrow before the next practice.
Good,
Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Okay. Thank you, everyone. This is,
Okay, that's good.
thank you. All right.
So this will be on our board meeting agenda.
For the 28th.
For the long-term solution of,
With their.
because they're signing the contract,
Yeah,
right?
with their ask and continued discussion on what the board.
Okay. Okay. All right, moving on, we are on vehicle fleet acquisition.
Acquisition.
Okay, I think Jared said something, do you all wanna? Wants to take the lead on this, Jared, do you wanna start it off, or I know we've had extensive conversations over several meetings about the future state with our vehicles, so.
Yes, it's there. There's 2 parts to it. I mean, there's the replacement of vehicles and NEVs, and then there is a vehicle plan of new acquisition. Do we want to discuss what was? So there is 2 parts to this. One is replacement of current vehicles, which would most likely fall under reserve expenditures as they're replacing NEVs with vehicles. Then
Let's
there's,
discuss that part first. That's what That's what Jared's,
I said, I want to see if we need to know what we're doing. What we've come up with is replacing 2 vehicles a year or 6 vehicles a year every third year.
Yeah.
These are kind of the options here.
Right.
Because if we do 6 vehicles, maybe we're gonna get a much better price on 6 vehicles than we would on 2 every single.
Yeah, so we have a short-term solution that was discussed with the finance committee and is what is in your packet. And then what Jared, the FCD that was sent out to the rest of the board today was the proposal of a future replacement plan based on the anticipated life of a vehicle, either 2 every year or 6 every 3 years. The reason that we had discussed 6 every 3 years was you have some opportunity for some food pricing when you're purchasing 6 at one time. You would already have the funding built up for your reserves to accommodate that cost.
it's hard for me to like, where I'm right now, I know for 2026, we have what, 3 vehicles,
So
right?
there's
In
3
reserve.
vehicles this year, 3 vehicles next year, and 3 vehicles the following year.
And
Naps are not part of the,
honestly,
those are naps.
and then there's a differential in the cost between the NEV and the truck. Right, so that recommendation would probably come from finance on what to, like, how to fund that differential, which is fine. That's why I think for me, anything more than 2, because of that differential right now, I would really have to look at the 6-month projections first, because I can't comfortably say 6 vehicles right now.
But what is reserves 3?
It's 3.
It's
but then
66,000.
These are capital, these would be effectively a capital expense.
No, you could accommodate these in your reserve because you're replacing an existing asset.
But
There's different, so,
accelerating it though, right?
and which is perfectly permissible in a reserve setting. We do it all the time because we also delay things all the time, like the town hall stuff was delayed for many, many years.
There was $250,000 of sod delays last year.
Yeah. So there's gonna be some ebb and flow in the reserve fund, which is fine to escalate things.
And I'd have to see that, just because like, I know even when we're talking about town hall and how to pay for it. Reserve funding was a big issue, whether or not, to go capital or reserve. So to me, like, that then caused me to say, okay, well, then we really need to focus on these reserves too, just because it's there and, how we do it. So that's why I kind of want to see the 6-month projection of the reserves especially if we're going to accelerate some of the vehicles.
Should we take the 12 grand from not mailing for the election and put it towards the vehicle?
I think we have 3 other things that.
Yeah.
Mulching vending machines.
You know,
What are the, I mean, the other thing, and I looked at the plan briefly, but we're gonna have increased insurance costs, we're gonna have increased gas costs, no?
No,
Why?
well, gas costs, yes, insurance, no.
We paid per, we're insuring more vehicles now.
No, this is replacing.
We're replacing
6.
I thought we're at, but the larger fleet plan over the next several years.
Oh, yes.
So that, well,
Or a
we're talking,
12-year timeline, yes.
Yeah.
so we're talking about 2 different things. I know.
Yeah,
So, okay.
under the,
Right now, most of any of the discussion you see here is
Okay.
not any new acquisition.
Okay.
I mean, as far as adding
This is
more
replacement.
vehicles to the fleet,
Okay.
it is substituting old NEVs for new
Got it.
trucks.
so yes, it would have gas, but nothing else.
It would,
Got it.
I think we need to decide on that before we decide on adding. And Mother, I do have a question about the one that is out of commission. Whatever happened? Was a rental put in place, or where does that stand right now?
The staff are using their personal vehicles and doing
So
that.
we're not doing the.
So with the rental, it was logistically not not really a possibility because everybody who would potentially be driving that vehicle would have had to come with us to Hertz or wherever that we were going and show their driver's license.
So what would be the drawback of replacing 2 of the NEVs for maintenance with 2 of the pickup trucks now to accommodate that one that is out of commission and one of the ones that is having battery issues? What would be the drawback of only doing the 2 now?
No, you have 3 up for
There's
replacement
3,
this
it's
year.
the fleet price.
Okay.
It's really.
we're also, we're just hitting, and we're hitting some safety issues too, as we had 2 NEVs go down this week. And so they're continually going down. When they go down, they're going down in the middle of any of our villages. It's requiring others to come, or pushing it to a location,
And those are maintenance NEVs, or is that the
maintenance NEVs.
So the issues with the maintenance nets. One is completely out of commission and then
Yeah, and
You-
two, right now we have two of the inspector nets down. And we're having rotating on small patches, about 2 to 3 of the,
so if we did 2 maintenance nets to 2 trucks and 1 inspector net to the trucks. Well, I feel like that would like. Compared to what's happening right now, and there's 3 that are in reserve. For reserve, if we did that, I don't understand, like, I feel like that would add so much value and so much more efficiency with staff. But
It's not adding efficiency, though, we already have vehicles that don't work.
Right.
And we're just maintaining them.
So
our
Well, to
concern
add-
is too, I mean, we do, how much do we open on continuing funding repairs?
Jim, do you want to, hang on one second? Jim,
Just at our workshop, it was suggested that they bring in someone locally to check out the depths. You see, because they are always using Gem to come in, which of course they'd be happy to replace. So if we could get somebody local to check out the depths to understand just how long they can last, or because this has just come up, in the last 30 days that all of them are falling apart. So we didn't understand that.
I don't-
It's been consistent that the nets have been a problem, battery issues.
we've heard about it for the last several months that these things are failing.
Batteries, but that's very expensive and I'd rather put that into a gas.
Yeah,
We
are not, finance committee is not saying
Right,
we don't want to acquire a
sure.
It's just that we want to see from a timing standpoint and also the cost before anything happens. That's the right way to finance.
Yeah.
Because that way we can decide if it's going to be out of reserve or it's going to be out of town.
How are we doing right now? I mean, that's obviously not great, but are we just from a team perspective, I mean, we're limping along basically.
You're,
It's how-
you're limping
okay.
along and your inspectors. Because the maintenance team can't really use their personal
Yeah.
vehicles to lug around tools,
So give us,
the inspector team are using their personal vehicles and building back mileage to the community.
so let's talk about a timeline to get this. Oh, go ahead. Read it.
Now, I would just say they're really uncomfortable using their personal vehicles. They-
Especially one of them who lives in town.
One thing that we talked about, with finance committee was, purchasing on a loan, because you can buy vehicles. There are deals on vehicles where you can buy them and it's cheaper to actually buy it with a loan and then just pay the loan off than it is just buy the vehicle. I do think, now, I don't know how this works out dollar wise. I think our best bet is to start the plan with the 6 every 3 years, just starting it with 6 this year at once. I don't know the best way to do that, if it's with a loan that gets paid off, or if we just buy them directly. We just need to see what the numbers look like. And as Katie said before, how does that work with all the other expenses we have this year?
And then that's kind of like my point, like, if we want to go the 6 right now route, we really need to look at the 6-month forecast. Because I think it's
Well, that's
very,
12.
and 6 and 12-month forecast. Now, if time,
Furniture, we're
right,
finishing the building.
all that's reserves too, and the front, I don't want to really get into it all, but. If time is an issue and we're just sitting here and we're going back and forth between, do we buy 6 now? Do we not do it? I feel like if we can just go ahead and do the reserves for the 2026, for the 2 trucks and the 1 Maverick, that is going to help with staff and what they're doing. And then maybe we come back and we see these projections for 6 months and we can afford to add 3 more. Like whether it's accelerated or whether, capital, we can afford out of capital. But if we keep waiting to try and get the 6 all at once, what are we like missing out on in the meantime? Like, things aren't going well in the meantime.
So I think we need to get this back to finance committee potentially to finish this, is how I'm hearing. I don't think this is gonna be ready for anything at this point.
Is this finance committee or is this?
Well, Katie's saying she wants a projection from Red.
Red.
Right.
But
So
that's gonna have to have finance committee input. So this is not, I don't know what we're able to actually.
Well, finance committee has a meeting on the 22nd, which would then have their input from Ray's forecasting prior to your meeting on the 28th.
I think it's where it has to go.
Yeah.
But, right, go quickly.
just wondered why you don't lease them and include all of the main.
We went down that road,
We tried that.
We went down.
but the finance committee reviewed it, that's already been considered, just so you know.
So can you want the finance committee to discuss this? Come
So I
back with
have
some-
a note for Ray,
They're here with
revenue
me.
projections for each
So
fund
it's
for
okay,
6
they're-
and 12 months,
Oh, really?
paragraph the 22nd meeting.
Share the legal plan with the.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, then have him include, I guess this would be another item, all six in it.
So the
Yeah,
short term and the long term
Oh,
plan.
and that's just really an acceleration of reserves.
Yes.
Or
I will say, if we do all six this year, management should, no more vehicles. 2 more years.
Yeah,
It's every 3 years, and we've got to stick to that at some point to be able to maintain.
I feel like we're gonna get into a larger conversation on other things. I feel like, but I don't know.
Maybe, tabling other things you said,
Cable and other, like.
unfortunately, it's delaying, just pushing them out, but
Yeah.
that's.
We're gonna get data, right? We're gonna get data from Ray and finance.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
that's good, that's a great
I
next
think we're,
step.
no, we're seeing something. All right, anything else on vehicle fleet? No, once, all right, naming rights, Gary, or is this?
This, I asked to have it put on, we're getting interest in some of the smaller items, but to formalize this.
Benches.
Benches and an alcove now,
Okay,
and potentially a courtyard based on an email I saw from Katie. I would like to see an application that was sent out to the whole board earlier this week be issued out so we could formalize the process and kick off kind of like, yes, I'm really interested, I'm filing this application. So we can start doing our due diligence to see if it's something that we would put in front of the board for you to consider whether or not to.
You just have to say, yes, the application
Yes.
is good.
Uh-huh.
I think it's good.
yeah, I think the application's fine. I think it's then on us to decide what happens when we get 4 people interested in the output.
Yeah.
So the lottery is gonna be.
so that's a problem I'd like.
That's a problem we'd like to have.
Yes.
One other thing I want to add, sorry, go.
Well, I think here's the thing. What you're saying, like 4 people that submit on the same day, because I feel like once someone submits an application, we should just vote on it. And, cause,
First come, first served.
Yeah.
Is what you're-
yeah, and the board could still vote no.
Yeah.
And then hope for someone else to come in. But if we have interest, I feel like we need to capitalize on that interest and not keep them waiting till like some arbitrary date.
No, I agree. I think we just need to.
Yeah,
tell
and then
them
if there's
what
like
we wanna do.
3 that 4 come in within the same time before we get to vote, like, I think like our meeting cutoffs should be like the voting.
Could also be an upsell opportunity on some of the other, like, hey, you know, we do have these other ones, so I mean.
Yeah.
Put you into a new naming convention.
Yeah.
We can put you into that.
One thing I did want to add that isn't in any of the documentation, it does say it can't be a living person. And that is fine, and that makes sense. However, I do think we should allow an accommodation for the Smith family something. Because that is a
In
blanket
honor of.
that covers,
Like, yeah,
in honor of, sounds like they're dead.
Yeah, but,
some are.
Sure.
yeah.
So if it is the Smith family, it could be a family name rather than
Anything-
John Smith. Duck.
Totally good with that.
Okay.
Anything else? Okay, 2026 park improvement priority planning.
But this is
We
just,
got money to do this.
so this is just, to let the board know how we're looking, how we're planning as far as park improvements for the year of 2026. We did something similar in 2025. We took a slightly different approach as we has how we saw it affecting the operation last year and having to do so many shufflings. So this is in reference to the reserve line 1.6, which is allotted for $213,000 this year. This is estimates, both pulled from last year that were deferred and updated. A lot of these projects, items in yellow are related to GoGo items. Some ones that we're really looking at as a priority are the Spring Lake Park Playground space, the dog park landscape. So this is replacement sod in the dog park. This has gone to the dog park committee currently. We are fine moving forward with it. The main concern is of the dog park is the hay grass. If we lay any now, it is dormant, so it does look brown.
Yeah.
So that's where we've taken it to the dog park committee, letting them know we can start moving forward with this. Or do we delay it because of laying brown and grass brings a whole another.
We
part to it.
just did Spring Lake Park and Playground.
No, so Spring Lake, we did the Spring Lake
Oh,
Amenity Center.
yes.
Spring and Western. Spring Lake Park is where the playground is located. It is amusement park. Yeah,
sorry.
But this one has received a lot of, it's been due for most of the complaints are with
But
sod.
that also has drainage issues too.
Yes,
So
so
that,
this is to address the drainage, the failure of plants which have been noted or
Yes.
for many months in the park reports, around the playground and the sod itself.
Is this saying we're budgeted for 213,000, but we only plan to spend 126,000?
You got it.
So is that budgeted or just reserved?
So that is reserve only.
But
And
is
these
that
are
reflected in the budget?
in the reserve, but
This is, you, in the reserve study this year, it says you can spend $230,000.
Yes, does our budget also say that? Our actual budget?
Yes.
our operating accounts,
Yes.
this is the
This is,
reserve
this
account.
is only reserves.
So there is a separate landscaping and parks repairs in operating. And it does have a dollar amount allocated to that. Everything listed here is not allocated to that operating budget. This is all quotes to the reserve. So every one of these, even the smaller amounts that you can see at $190, $90, we would be taking these to the board for approval as they would be requested from
What
the
is
reserve.
Blaze Park at $90?
I didn't bring all these estimates.
I'm just
with us,
curious.
but-
these are the pocket parks too.
Yeah, these are pocket parks. A lot of it's minor plant replacement. Blaze Park is a median. It's a small median. It's not.
What are we doing for $90?
There's little, we got the, we're delayed.
10
10
HVAC
HVAC. Okay, but honestly though, I have a really, I guess, I'm controversial tonight. So if, Brian, if we told you we wanted to do all of these. And we'll cut a check next week, can all this be done?
Yeah, it'll take time, but yeah.
But like, it's not a resourcing issue, like it could be done in the next 6 to 8 months.
Before hurricanes.
Before hurricanes, that, no, seriously,
Yeah.
that's my
We
view.
would probably pause around in April because of snow. And, you know, we will probably won't want to revamp our ramp up stuff real big right now on Friday. We're gonna be looking at a potential for a freeze, but probably not here, but all the surrounding areas. So weather dependent, yeah,
I mean,
a lot of these are very small and can be done in less than a day.
I would like to, we've talked about a lot of reserve expenses tonight. And I'm getting very, very worried about.
we have, but I think that, here's my challenge, we delayed, and I joke about mulch all the time, but we did delay it from last year, and there are a lot of places that are looking rough.
Yeah.
And we saw proof point when we did mulch last year, that was a fun conversation.
It's in the budget, it's in the.
It's in the
operating.
budget, but the complaints stopped.
Yeah.
And so there's a part of me that I'm kind of like, before the $90 Blaze Park for 10 Asiatic Jasmine turns into $190 because it's been overrun with more junk.
Right.
I'd rather nip it now and then be able to do it so that it's, because I think that some of these costs, if we delay them, will get bigger. Because other things will die, other things won't happen. I'm sure there's, irrigation that will come up as part of this that will need to be amended. That it's a little bit of it's gonna fix other things in the process.
Correct.
But we could wait the 2 weeks.
Oh, yeah, no.
Charles and Case point to put this 126,000 in raised number.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, that's what I was
That's
gonna
Katie's,
say.
no, but,
Can we
well,
have regular
I agree with you too, because and why I'm saying Spring Lake, the service area have been complaining nonstop about that because we have to continuously pressure wash, like it just pours out all over the sidewalk. So I agree with you to a certain extent. I think we gotta get the plan together.
It's
Figure out.
it's a lot of money, right? And it's a lot of money on plant material and stuff that we need to fix, but I would rather start fixing it now because just history has told us they all get more expensive. And I think if we have the 6-month plan of saying, how healthy are we really gonna be here with some of these things? The fact of the matter is these things are still gonna be here.
Yeah, this is an important, this would be considered a priority in my mind.
Yeah.
When we look, like, if the plan comes back and it's like, okay, well, not everything you guys are planning is gonna happen. This to me is a priority,
Yep.
like where we say, this is where we go first.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll say, I don't know how much we spent last year. I know it must have been more than 500,000.
Now, as far as for this and what we did in our landscaping plan, we had 208,000 allocated. We came in just under that as we did stop spending toward, on the Q4 section. But with that said, some of those projects that we stopped have been pulled over into this, or into this as well.
There was
This would-
sped to out of the athletic field for the Bermuda field, so that's in a different line item.
Yeah, the Bermuda Fields, and there is irrigation has its own line as well. Bermuda Fields had its own line, and that was added on top of that 200 was an additional amount.
So it's possible we can pull the trigger on this at the board
Yes.
based on this financial stuff.
Well,
Well, if
Yes.
it's material, well, yes.
I think.
Or
either
at
way,
least put a
this
timeline
is
to it,
like-
basically.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And is there a severity, like some of these, I assume?
It's colored.
the highlighted one,
Oh, you do.
yeah.
Yes.
As this is on the screen, one of the points I was going to make in the dog park comments for next. The dog park's got 17,000 that they've raised, that they've been trying to spend for as long as I've been involved with the dog park. For some reason, they can't touch that money. Now, I spoke to the chairman this afternoon of the dog park committee and for about an hour, and the sand on there, is that $2,900? $80 they had a price for to have it delivered. Now, there's this issue with spending. There's 17,000 that the dog park has raised that, Jared, you've been liaison. You've tried to get
They
them.
would spend it, yeah. I think
That now they've tried to spend it under Paul and under Jim. They've tried to spend it. And so they've offered to pay for the sand. There's $2,900 that could come off that list.
great, let's do that.
So-
I have not heard that.
Okay, so I can get Jean to we'll speak to Danny tomorrow, but they've been trying to utilize the money that's been raised, because my issue is why are we raising money as a community for it to sit in an account that never gets reinvested back into the facilities?
Yeah.
Especially when it's things like this. You know, the grass, I think, will come on top of the next section, but the sand, the money sitting in the account, they offered to spend it. That he's even got quotes and showed Dan the quotes. It's on this list.
I think, and I thank you for wanting to spend the money on that. There's a part of me that says, I would rather see the dog park spend the money on like a agility structure or something like
They've
that.
recently requested additional benches and umbrellas, and we've taken those quotes to them. I think there's,
Looked at agility equipment twice. We looked at a dog washing station. We looked at benches. We looked at umbrellas. And
So,
we haven't made a decision.
so I think,
When you say we have a
committee has not.
The committee has
provided
not,
one
yeah.
firm direction.
so but I think to Mr. Staten's point, they're volunteering to pay for some of the stuff. I would rather, we need to pay for some of the stuff because it's just part of the regular maintenance of it. If a group is raising money to enhance something, then it should go to enhancing it, not.
It's a common area
Yeah.
expense. So that's.
With that said, we're also hearing what he's saying, that there are complaints about these items. We know that the dog park committee is still consulting on how they want to spend those funds. That's why we've gone ahead and included them in here so that they're budgeted somewhere
Yeah.
and the board can
Because I
go
can tell
forward
you,
on
the
those.
committee's gonna change over in 2 months, and this whole idea of what we should pick is gonna start all over.
The only thing I would say is that you need to understand that, and the finance committee need to understand that sand in the dog park needs changing every year. So this is $2,900. It's going to be a recurring payment.
It's like playground mulch.
Yeah.
No, the $2,900 is not for, so there's 3 separate estimates on that estimate of $2,900. One is for about $80 to fill the dog park sand pit with sand.
Mhm.
The other one is to completely remove all of the sand that's in the dog pit and then to replenish it. And then the other one is what it costs you annually just fill the dog park with sand. It's all included in that $2,900.
So there's a deduction on that anyway.
There's a major deductions. Yeah, I was asked to put an estimate together with 3 options.
And that's the committee's.
No, I'm fully aware of that, and I knew about all the 3 quotes, but the $2,900 on me is not accurate. So
Correct.
No, it's worst case, if we have to do 3 duplicate things.
Yeah, but what I'm getting at is that your bottom line figure is this 126,000 is what Brian's now saying, is that could that be 80? Because that makes a big difference to what you're deciding on and how quickly you move forward with all of these items. If that figure's reduced down.
I appreciate that. Let's
Yeah,
get
let's-
back on track.
Yeah, so are we, agree, so sorry. doing a horrible job.
We'll get the projection.
Are we good with this?
Yeah,
Yeah,
we'll get
all
the
right.
projection, we'll put it on your agenda. And
Okay, you guys
Can I ask as liaison to get quote on agility equipment or the large dog park, just to pass to the committee?
we have the quotes that they got earlier.
Okay,
Do
great.
you want that one, or do you want us to
Can you
get?
just send those to me? No, just
Okay.
send those to me, because I'm gonna try and push to get a action on something.
The committee doesn't have to vote on it. I mean, we want them to.
I know. We did one.
Get agility quote for
Yeah.
Jared, and then we got, okay, all right,
Yeah, no, I wouldn't want to touch their money.
Yeah.
Well, that's what it's for.
all right.
Yeah.
Dog guest pass, we good? Ready?
Yep.
Sorry, we're running hot. Dog guest pass. So what's going on? I know Mr. Staten has some comments on this. What, or Jared or management, who wants to,
I don't know anything about this.
management?
So reading verbatim, it was discussed at the dog park meeting to add registration not to be used for commercial purposes during the dog park registration requirements. Registration form must be completed for every dog entering the park. Residents must register all visiting dogs at town hall.
Wait, hold on. What does that mean, not to be used for commercial purpose?
Trainers.
You can't be a dog.
Like the gym restriction.
Or the doggy buses or things like that. So
But we
this
have
is,
a program with the
They're
dog.
a partner
They're a
program.
partner program.
You bring in a third party, I can bring in my own.
That's a little confusing.
so this is
Maybe we
really,
should say outside partner program.
Yes.
Okay.
So $10 per dog per year? Is that what that says? That bottom line?
No, that's one-time access,
One time.
One time,
one-time fee.
a dog that's
So it-
visiting the community for 2 weeks has to pay $10 every time they go to the dog park?
No.
No, it's a
they pay
one-time.
fee.
It's added to your badge, to your ID card.
Got it.
Do they provide the same vaccination?
Yes.
Yeah, it's
Yes.
DTaP and D, or not DTaP, sorry. It's Jesus.
I don't know any.
Distemper and all that.
Is this officially our longest meeting of the year?
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's a workshop
It's definitely.
for the whole year, but I should feel like.
Of your board cycle year.
Yes.
We need Johnson back.
So this is good, right? We're good.
Yes.
Yes, are we good?
Well, let's, hang on.
Mr. Staten, please, yes.
Can this be sent back to the dog park committee, because this has been drafted by Danny and not been drafted by the committee?
Yes.
And this is not what they're expecting to be in front of you tonight, after speaking to the chairman today for a long time. This whole thing came about by people wanting to bring their dogs that are in rented accommodation at one of the hotels or something like that, because quite frankly, if you've got a dog and your mum is staying with you and she's got a dog, you bring both dogs, you know that they're vaccinated. But there is an outbreak at the moment of kennel cough,
Yeah,
really bad in town. And this needs a lot more thought and a lot more work before it's even considered, because my big issue with this is that $10 the dog park committee are expecting to go into their fundraising.
No,
You guys are expecting it to go into.
I don't know why they would think that though, because this is all about maintenance of the programs. and
I don't make you wrong. But that's what I'm saying, that this should be sent back to them. This should be drafted by them, not by Danny, so that you guys are getting a clear reflection on what the committee's asking you to do.
So I'm hearing, that this has already been reviewed by the committee.
No,
Has this been reviewed by the committee?
Danny talked to them, they didn't have quorum though.
So this is technically not been.
It hasn't been voted.
It needs to go back, so we need to go back. to the committee.
We need to vote.
is there urgency behind this? Because right now the rule is no.
Yeah.
Right?
Send it back to the
Okay,
committee.
okay.
We good?
Yeah.
All right. Anything else, Dog Guest Pass? No. All right, design guidelines update?
So I had sent an email to Eric and Charles. The covenants committee was provided the updated design guidelines to provide commentary. In attempts to move this process forward in a timely fashion, we're recommending as management to publish the draft design guidelines to the community as well, to get owner comments at the same time as the covenants committee, and then compile them all together. So then Art can review and then we can get to the board.
Will this carry over into new committee selection, or could this be done inside of this term?
I don't,
It would be published, it's 45 days.
No, we're not, this isn't the
This is
45
this is
days.
not 45 days?
this isn't,
The 45 days notification will be when you approve the final revised design guidelines, then it goes to community for 45 days notice.
We're trying to give more time than we have to. That is essentially in this. I think there's a lot of changes in this. I am not confident we're going to get consensus by when everyone's reseated in March.
But then obviously it's on May,
Yeah.
so you have more time. We changed that last year.
Fair.
But it's like,
If we have to receive an entire new committee, well, but again, if we're,
We might not, we don't know.
We don't know.
wanna-
well, Don Towney's already gone, and he's gonna be this one company's guy that's gonna be on the board, so we'll have to
Sure,
replace him. But to your point, I mean,
yeah,
You don't think you're gonna get consensus on ARC now?
you know,
it's taken this months.
You have a comment?
Months.
yeah,
Gary, go ahead.
I do not recommend sending this to the public at this point. It's not ready for prime time. There will be pitchforks and bonfires when people start reading what's in there now. It's got too many errors, inconsistencies, misspellings. There are numbers that don't match between two different design guidelines. We will confuse the residents and they will think that this is what you want. I'm asking you to hold off and wait till covenants and ARC and have a couple of meetings.
So doing that. So I was under the impression ARC was sending this to Covenants, Covenants was reviewing it. Covenants is not, this is just going straight, well, you have reviewed it, you
We
provided.
just got it, we just got it 8
no,
days
there's
ago.
like 32 design guidelines.
Yeah.
So,
It's a,
but I don't, if it hasn't fully, I think we're being a little bit premature.
here's where we're trying to figure out but look, there's some topics that are going to cause torches and pitchforks, whether we've met on them or not, because it's gonna be things like window buttons and exterior lighting, drip edges in there. Edging is in there, mulch color stays the same. But there's some of these things that are fundamental shifts in what we've been doing here for 30 some odd years. And so I think that here's my concern. My concern is that if we align everything, we get the two committees, I still think that we need to have committee meetings back and forth between covenants and ARCs to look at the key points of concern. However, we're then going to need to turn around and still have more comment time from the community. My fear is that we're gonna get a bunch more comments in, and then we're gonna need to have another joint meeting.
I see what Eric, yeah, I totally get what you're saying. Getting this feedback, letting the residents know this is completely draft, to see what some of those pain points are on the front end. And then addressing it more, rather than coming to consensus, sending it out to the residents, and then it's like, oh, no, and it's like a huge, issue, and then you have to go back and find consensus again. It's better to find out upfront what those big issues are, and then you guys can
So
address
in
them.
general, is it more expansive or more restrictive, the changes that?
Both.
Yeah. Great, wonderful.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I don't think the residents will understand that this totally is a draft, and I do believe that the joint committee can solve some of these issues to the point that the residents won't need to weigh in and bring their pitchforks. I really think we need to do this together. Before we send it out.
Our current state on this.
I think you write draft and on the front of it, just
So we're trying
Like-
to do both in tandem so we could see.
Yeah, it's
where
gonna
the
be more
big impacts were.
do it as a draft.
I know, I'm gonna be like getting an email.
We're not bound to, these are just comments, correct? These are just comments from the community.
I
We're not bound to.
will also say that having read through these, and I've missed all of these things that Gary's pulled out because I've read all of them. I'm the proofreading failure point in this, in trying to find all of these. I can pretty much guarantee you, I can count on one hand the number of residents that will do the same amount of reviews.
Are they all named Gary?
So, no, but I think that the challenge that we'll have is that there will be some people that it will be their thing, right? Trip edge. So we're gonna focus on that.
I'm gonna sound really horrible. I don't care at this point, as long as we just, because we've been talking about this for a year.
Yeah, just get it up and let them.
Whatever is the path of least resistance to get this thing mobilized and
I think
off
that-
our radar and we've done it.
That's a
We have been warned. I don't want to be, I don't want to sound like that, but like we keep talking about this every single, and if it means going to the community now, we'll deal with it. We'll compile the comments, we'll figure it out.
We'll have draft plastered
I'm
on.
open to whatever.
So
We'll
I,
draft
I really-
everywhere.
Thank you.
I
It
still
keeps coming up over and over in every single meeting.
I still think
I'll
that we
create a
have,
separate page on the website for draft.
Fabulous.
guidelines.
Great.
yeah, and I think that still having the meeting between ARC and covenants, we still need to do that.
And admittedly, I haven't been a good liaison to covenants with.
Well, neither am I.
Well, I know.
We have an opportunity.
There are lessons learned. All right, are we good on design guidelines?
Yes.
Okay, doors and hardwares, PC individual,
What's the decision?
They're gonna publish it,
we're gonna publish it.
correct, and then they're
We're gonna
gonna
manage,
show the
we
meeting.
will manage it. We have to get it moving. All right, last one, doors and hardware, PC.
Is this the official? Or is this being revisited?
This is absolutely being revisited. We just received this late on Friday. The only reason the board is seeing this and it's only a discussion item is so they can know what is coming their way. With the chiller that you just saw, that went down by about 40% after we reviewed it. We reviewed it with our team. We had Collick review it. We're expecting the same with this. The main thing we wanted to bring to the board was this is in the project to try to save costs, any doors that could be reused were put into the plan. And with that, they don't match the hardware of the new doors, as the new doors are satin and the old doors are chrome. The original reason we put this on there was we were going to be recommending to the board that we go back and say any back of house facing doors be removed off this. They can remain chrome. And everything guest face or resident facing can be the new satin.
These are the front doors that they took out.
No,
So this
No, okay.
is,
Is everything?
This is like passage doors inside.
Gotcha.
doors into the conference room.
But I will say,
these are the doors that this is in reference to. So it's not all the doors in the facility. It's basically the doors that existed in the building that are staying in the building. We thought that it would be more of the back of house doors. So this back of house approach only is affecting 2 of the 6 locations. So that's not going to be a feasible approach to this. It was really just bringing it to the board as awareness, but we're gonna start digging down this.
just so the rest of the board knows, when Eric and I were there on yesterday, we told them this has to get in, it has to be under $10,000. Just, we can't go and say spending $25,000 on plates and doorknobs. So that's what our owners rep is told, get it under 10, and so we'll see what they come back.
Yeah, cool. It's
Are we able to get that on for the board meeting or no? Is that too aggressive?
Most likely not. No, I mean, we're still waiting on a couple other PCOs.
What is driving that? I don't understand where that cost can even come from for $23,000 for.
That's why Jared said cut it
Yeah,
down.
and we tried saying this is just.
I mean,
The plan.
I know, but hardware finishes, hardware finishes are expensive.
Hardware fees already took place, so
It's also hinges, it's
Is it the
all.
kick plates too?
It's
Like,
kick
oh, yeah.
plates.
oh, geez.
And it's commercial and it's, push bars, it's all the stuff that has to be, but it's not 25,000.
It'll go down. We'll bring it back to the board as soon as we get it.
Right.
Love it.
and then we're waiting on the back activity room, the ceiling change order.
Yeah.
The back activity room, just removing all of the sound panels and doing the walls flat so we can put the sound panels and
Thank you.
Okay,
that's it.
motion to adjourn.
Second.
Oh, I would.
This was the agenda for the year, right? The workshop for the year.
I can't wait till Don gets back.
It's only board, it's only board meetings after that.
You don't know.
I want to think someone to say. I understand.
I can't say the feeling is mutual, but personally,
Yeah, no, I get this. I get it. No, it's not.
You can get a fire.
You go to a tropical island.
I'm not even gonna come and watch it.
No, you're gonna be so disconnected. It was like,
I'll just read that.
I think it was always. Yeah.
It's just sort of, that's where I.
If you're right. Can we fit that back in your vehicle?
Most of that.
I like this.
Now, we're not the outside.
Yes.
I'm replacing the door on this car. So, how the dash is turning.
So as I was on Silver Avenue, I was like, it's going.
Like the next time over there, it's on 25 side. On that bridge, stop. Don't go to the lake. Look at the canal. Don't clean up the canal. No money. So let's get it right. I'm not, we're not trying to say. I don't even want to. No, sorry. However, like, we can treat art.
Yeah, I won't go. I got your back.
Yes.
No dollars budgeted or operations. Like, how wide.
I was trying.
They're working on this. Things they're working on.
I like the attorney's eyes.
It's like that, right?
No, which one?
Alive.
I don't know. It's good. I don't. Like, the only thing I was thinking.
It's hard. We have the filter now, we have Sanders.
You win with
No, so much.
So like, I like. Like that, they might not agree with that. But yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I'm surprised by
one representative.
To go to.
Well, not.